Welcome back to Valley View Live. Today, Stitch Duran is our special guest host, and he is going to get ready to do some rapping. So we talked a little bit about how you are a cut man. Essentially, you help keep the fighters in the fight. And the first step that it takes to get into rapping, because you said it was about a 7-minute process?
Well, that's for per hand, but the first step is when the fighter walks into the dressing room is, they relax, they get their clothes ready, and then when I start rapping their hands, that's a real first step of going into battle. And if you put it in the analogy of the old gladiator days, I was a guy in the bottom in the dungeon, putting the armor on the gladiator before he went out to the arena. And that's what I do when I wrap the hands. And in theory with that is that you don't break your hands.
You don't break your hands. And so in addition to fixing the cuts, you help them before they get into the
Yes.
ring. And you also see these fighters in their most vulnerable state, right? What is that like for you? What has that taught you about life? And you can, as you start rapping, if you
sure.
want to
Well, let's do that. And that's a good point, Megan, because psychology is such a big point in what I do. And there's been times when, just keep your hand open, there's been times when fighters have literally cried as we're doing this thing. Really? Just keep it wide open. And the reason you keep it wide open is so that it doesn't become too tight. But psychology has a big part. And like I tell these fighters, I say, I'm going to take care of you like you're my son, just wide open. And that's the theory. You have to go out there. And there's been many, many times when these fighters, after the fight, give me a hug, give me a kiss on the cheek, and tell me they love me because I am like the father figure for them at that point, right?
Yes,
so,
and you have this soothing demeanor about you. The minute I met you, it's like I did feel like we were part of this family. Maybe it's because of the Latino thing, but there's something about you, and I think that's obviously why you've been so successful in addition to other things. So you're going to keep rapping.
Yes.
We're going to keep talking, and I'm going to toss it over to Dao and Rikki to talk all things prom dresses. A little different.